Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's Last Replays, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to play Agni. For those of you that don't know, he's a hard to play fire god. I believe he's currently cheapest to buy, but he was the first god that I ever bought, so I'm not too sure anymore. But anyway, we're going to get into this, and I'm going to start off with the build. Okay, so for relics, normally I'll go Sanctuary or Purification Beads, and it really depends on the characters I'm going against. For example, if I'm going against a Nox or it's difficult, a Nox, a Fenrir, Hades, an Ares, just like characters that have an ultimate that kind of screws you over, or abilities that screw you over. So that's when I would get Purification Beats, and then Aegis, or I call it Sanctuary because that's what it was called for a bit. But Aegis, it's just gonna make you immune for a long time. Well, 2 seconds. So you won't take any damage. Unfortunately, you won't take any healing either. So if you use this and then someone tries to meditate you, that's not gonna work. But you know, it helps me in a lot of situations. So normally I just go Sanctuary or Aegis, and then my second relic is normally Blink Rune, just because I don't like wasting my dash getting to them. I like using it after I get to them. And then start building stacks on Book of Thoth, and then Shoes of the Magi, and then either Spear of Magus or Desolation. But in this case, I really like Spear of Desolation just because of that cooldown. And then what we can do is we can get Obsidian Shard. Sometimes I'll swap it out for Divine Ruin if I'm going against characters like Chang'e or Aphrodite that heal themselves and other teammates. This is where I would normally get Bancroft's Talon or Book of the Dead. In this case, I'll get that, but we're gonna actually have to buy everything again because I did it in one run.
The price of chaos paid in full.
Skip Book of Thoth, and then Obsidian Shard, Blink, Aegis, and then last item I'll normally get Rod of Tahuti, and that's basically it. Actually, since I don't have any stacks built right now, I'm going to get power elixirs, defense elixirs. The defense elixirs aren't really necessary, but I don't even know if I can build stacks on these guys. Nope, can't do it because they don't die. Okay, so the combo is normally square, circle, X, and that's just because it works the best. So I'll show you the original combo: square, circle, X. You can also do square. You can also do square, X, circle. Kind of failed that one, but we'll just let him die for my damage over time. And you can also dash in and then use square, and then X.
Just what I'd expect.
But we're gonna show you the abilities. So first we have Noxious Flames. You summon a cloud of noxious fumes at the ground target location, doing damage every second. And then when you use any of his abilities into the fumes, it detonates the gas, stunning enemies. So it's a really good skill when you're using it with either your dash or your line. But the thing is, you have to hit your line into the noxious fumes if you want to hit it, so that's a little bit more annoying. And your dash, if you just dash through the square, then it works every single time. Or if you put your square on top of the line that you just dashed through, kind of thing. So I'll show you what I mean. So when you dash, there's this line, see? And then you put that square, and then when it ignites, that's how you know that they're going to be stunned. Um, and then Flame Wave, summon a wave of fire that scorches enemies in the path. It's like your most damaging ability. It's gonna do like a ton of damage later on in the game once you start building stacks. Agni blazes a path forward. It's called Path of Flames. Leaving flames trailing behind him, enemies passing through the flames will catch fire and burn for damage every 5 seconds for 2 seconds. Or 0.5 seconds for 2 seconds. I don't even know how that works, honestly. Ignites noxious fumes. Agni is immune to knockback while dashing. So it's damage per tick. Most of your damage is going to come out of your flame wave once again. And if you use noxious fumes and then go through with Path of Flames and hit them with Path of Flames, it's going to do even more damage over time. So you really want to get both of those together. And then Rain Fire is basically your ultimate. The really cool thing that I find about Agni is his ultimate is a charge up, not a timer. So if you look right down at the bottom, you see these golden oval shaped objects. I'm not sure what they're called. Maybe magma rocks, I don't know. But look on the right of my Aegis amulet or on the left of my health bar, and there are those 3 stones. Those 3 stones tell me when I have my ultimate. So when I use my ultimate, like this, you can see that they're going down, and then it's going to take 12 seconds or whatever to go up. And that's how his ultimate works. It does 160 damage straight off the bat, and you can get it up to 300 damage. And normally what I'll do is I'll charge up all 3, but if I have to get a kill, like that person is annoying the hell out of me and I really need to kill him, I'll use 1 and then I'll use the rest of my combo and hope that it still kills him. Your passive is Combustion. After hitting with 4 basic attacks, you'll gain a buff. On the next cast of Flame Wave or Rain Fire, all enemies hit will gain will be additionally set ablaze, taking damage every 0.5 seconds for 3 seconds. And then the damage per tick is 5. And then you can add that up. So, show you. My dog's barking. Just give me 1 second, I'll be back in a second. So while I was dealing with my dog, I built quite a few stacks, and I'm going to show you the combos once again. So if you remember from earlier, square, circle, X works, and I'll show you an alt combo as well. So your square is Noxious Flames, triangle,
An enemy falls before your might.
then you can dash, square, X. So those combos are basically using Noxious Flames to kind of help you out. Alright.
Awesome kill.
You can also do what I do in some situations where, well, Ra's a little bit too squishy for me to show you that because we're both level 20s and we're both mages, so we're both squishy. So basically what I would do, I'll show you here, is I'll use circle, square, and then alt, alt, alt. What this is going to do is if they are tanky at all, it's definitely going to obliterate them from whatever health they have left, unless they're full. If they're full, it may not work, but for the most part it does work. That's only if you have 3 of your alts left. I think you see me do 1 or 2 of that combo in the game that I'm about to show you in a minute. So square, circle, X. We'll do 1 more combo after this, which is gonna be, wait for it, gotta get my cooldown down. X, circle, square. Alright, now we're gonna go back and I'm gonna show you some alternate builds that you can use. Okay, so late game, Agni has a little bit of a problem staying alive just because if you're a good Agni, you're gonna get targeted a ton once people get to level 20, they start doing a ton of damage, and they want to kind of get back at you for doing all that high damage early on. So what I normally do is I get Book of the Dead, as you saw. The thing that it does is kind of like Bloodforge, but Bloodforge you have to get a kill. This is like, it gives you a shield based on the lifesteal that you've been gaining past your full health. So let's say I got my full health back with lifesteal, and I'm still getting lifesteal off any enemies and minions. It's gonna build more of a health bar. I can actually show you. Let me do that real quick. If I can. 1 second. I actually forgot how to trigger lifesteal, which is a little bit odd. I believe it's just killing, but it just happens and I don't really pay attention to it. So we're going to see if I can get a little bit of a shield here. So, unfortunately I took a little bit of damage, so you weren't really able to see the full lifesteal potential. But if you see that little blue bar on the very right of my health bar, that's the shield that it gives you. It gives you, so I have 1,980 health points right now, but there's also that extra 16 points or whatever. And then the more health you're gaining on top of your health from lifesteal, the bigger the shield's gonna be, so you can get like really good stacks from that. But if you don't want to use Book of the Dead, normally I'll use Bancroft's Talon or Pythagorean's Piece. I rarely use Polynomicon, but you can. It gives you more magical power. It transfers 75% of your magical power as magical damage, and that effect can only be, applied once every 3 seconds. So I don't know. I never really needed it just because it's a basic attack ability. Like, it makes your basic attack stronger, but I don't need that because I already do burst damage, and by the time that all happens, I'm either dead or the person's dead, so I don't really use that. That's why I go with Book of the Dead or Bancroft's Talon. Plus, the lifesteal is a little bit lower on Polynomicon as well. If you really do need mana, I'll go with these two. Polynomicon gives you 300. Pythagoreans gives you 200. Pythagoreans gives you some cooldown reduction as well as a little bit of lifesteal, and then it increases your allies' lifesteal as well. So those are your options for your last item. I always, 90% of the time I go for Book of the Dead or Bancroft's Talon. And then either second last or last item is Rod of Tahuti, and if you're wondering why, because you may be new to Smite or whatever, new to building, but it's because it increases your magical power by 25%. And I always go with that last just because you can't add on to nothing. So for example, if I have 10 magical power and then 25% isn't going to be doing like much at all. But if you add up all the magical power that I get from Shoes of Magi, Spear of Desolation, Book of Thoth, Obsidian Shard, and then you add, and then like it increases all of that by 25% together, that's an insane amount of damage that you're starting to do. And that's why I'm bursting Raw, I'm bursting the Bull Kings and Joust matches, Titans. I'm doing a ton of damage to all towers and everything like that. So it really helps me out with that sort of thing, but it's all late game. You don't want to build Rod of Tahuti early game because you're not going to be doing any damage with it. 25% of nothing is still nothing, right? So just got to keep that in mind when you're building. Maybe third item is as early as I'd build it, but even then it's iffy. If you really need defense, sometimes I'll swap out Book of the Dead or Obsidian Shard for, I don't know, maybe a Spirit Robe or something. I rarely ever use that just because I don't ever need it. But if you do, then, by all means. Then there's also those Agni players that decide that they want to, buy a ring to make their attack speed better, which I honestly don't understand because your basic attacks aren't that strong as Agni. They're good, but they're not that good. Like if you're Ao Kuang and you want to build that ring, it makes sense, but A lot of people will go with Hasten Ring for Agni or Demonic Grip. I don't, because I like to burst. I don't like for my basic attacks to be fast. But if you do want to do that, you know, all power to you. Anyway, I'm going to start going into a clip. I think it's a 1-minute clip of a couple kills that I got in a joust match with Agni. And I just want to show you guys the combos in action against real people, not a bot that just stands still 90% of the time. So anyway, we're going to go into that clip, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.